So we're about to start the short road now to Old Trafford. Wigan, one of only 4 clubs to win the title since 1996, one of only 6 clubs to contest the grand final at Old Trafford. This is a repeat of last year's first game in the playoffs. This year the venue has changed as Wigan in second take on third placed Huddersfield. And the big question is, can the Giants repeat their 2 regular season wins against Wigan and earn a week off and get to within 80 minutes of a first ever grand final? There's one of the legendary figures of the game, the great Billy Boston, a wonderful supporter of this club, a fantastic player of this club years and years ago. And, well, this Huddersfield team, they have the best run of form behind them of all 8 qualifiers. Unbeaten in the last 7 games, 6 wins and a 24-all draw at Warrington. And just before they went back into their dressing room after the warm-up, they got in a huddle. Brett Ferris, the skipper, led the rallying cry, followed quickly by Luke Robinson. They are here tonight on a mission. Some say mission impossible, but they've been inside the top 4 in 4 of the last 6 seasons, which underlines the claim that they are one of the most consistent sides at the moment in the Super League. Well, Wigan are in better shape than they were in 2013. They have won just 3 of the last 6, okay, but they have beaten 2 of the top 5 in their last 2 matches. They're aiming to get to within 80 minutes of a 3rd Old Trafford grand final in 5 years. Remarkably, 12 years between their first Super League title in 1998 and their second in 2010. Now they're aiming to be champions for the 3rd time in 5 years, and they are coming into these playoffs the bookies' favourite, Steve-O.
Yes, a lot of money has been shifted on the Wigan side, and I must say that they look very, very calm and collected in that dressing room. They know they've got a job to do. Huddersfield, of course, they realise they've already done the double over the team that did the double last season. So therefore, there should be no fear running through the Giants' bodies. But can Luke Robinson do what he did before he got injured last week against St Helens? Can he run the show to such an effect? If they can, they're in with a chance. We know that Danny Brough won't be out there, but the Giants will give a good account of themselves. And Paul Anderson, their coach, realises that Wigan last week against Warrington in the first 40 minutes, they were all over the shop. Can they put points on the board in the opening 20, 30 minutes?
Well, Wigan have kept Huddersfield waiting for quite some time before they finally emerge for this playoff qualifier. Remember, the winners go forward 2 weeks. They will have the break next week, and they will then be within just 80 minutes of the Old Trafford Grand Final on October the 11th. And Huddersfield have a fantastic record here. They've won the last 3 visits to the DW Stadium, 6 of the last 7. Despite that and the fact that they've beaten Wigan twice this year, very few of the pundits, very few of the experts, even fewer of the bookmakers, they fancy the Giants to cause what they would say would be an upset. They would argue about that in West Yorkshire.
Well, the 2 victories that the Giants inflicted on Wigan this year, I think, were when Danny Brough played for the side, and all of us sitting here are trying to imagine which one of the Giants can be the hero here if they are to win and go through to week 3 of the playoffs, because it's going to be somebody very special. Jake Connor, perhaps, the man who's going to kick off.
Yes, the 2014 Super League playoff series is underway, launched high by the boot of Jake Connor. Blake Green is underneath it, and here comes Ben Flower, and a good chase from the Huddersfield Giants from the kickoff. Maybe that will set the platform for Huddersfield. They need to get in the faces of the Wigan Warriors, the double winners last year, of course, Super League champions, Challenge Cup winners. The Cup, of course, is Leeds in 2014. Whose will be the grand final trophy at Old Trafford on October the 11th.
Well, pretty strong defence there by the Giants, led by the second row of Brett Ferris, really into it. Interesting to see that Paul Anderson has made sure that the big fella Crabtree starts the game, and that indicates to me that they want to really muscle against him. Just a touch too far there.
Yes, happy to allow that ball to run dead were the Huddersfield Giants, because they start on the 20-metre line. Matty Smith was trying to gain some ground up the other end, but well, the kick was just a little bit too strong. Michael Lawrence allowing the Jermaine McGilvray rather allowing the kick to run dead in goal. And the good thing from Wigan's point of view, of course, is that Huddersfield now have to attack from their 20-metre line.
Interesting to see the tactics there. The big fella Earl Crabtree normally takes it very close to the play the ball area. They shifted him out wide. In fact, he was stood in the centre position. Maybe that's a tactic that may work late in this game.
Now that's a relevant action there, Eddie. Jake Connor kicking that ball. He went early, give himself some space and some time, but he found the Wigan wingman on his chest on the full. That's an area of concern I have for the Huddersfield Giants, the absence of Danny Bruff's kicking game. I can understand Jake Connor wanted to kick early, get his first kick away, but he's going to have to find some ground, because these guys at the back for Wigan, as John Wells and Phil Clark pointed out before the game, they can return the ball with interest.
McElaurin at dummy half finds Sean O'Loughlin. Sean O'Loughlin then to Green. Green finds Smith. Movement here on the right-hand side. Gelling gets it away to Charnley. Charnley tries to brush Aaron Murphy off. He wouldn't be brushed aside. Jake Connor was in there as well. Charnley saying I was being obstructed then as I got to my feet. Here now is Flower, and he gets it over the 20-metre line for the champions on the last tackle now. And McElaurin waits. He pointed to the right-hand side. He's come left. He's found Green. And Green goes the aerial route, looking for Joe Burgess. Finds Joe Burgess. He gets the offload away to Sargentson. Sargentson drops the ball. Griggs picks it up, and the referee will order the turnover 10 metres away.
Brilliant kick right to the corner. Put a lot of pressure in it. Good work by Sargentson, but he was just diving for the line. The one thing that just worried me there in regards to the Giants' defence, the build-up out wide, they moved up 2 or 3 metres and then for some unknown reason backed off, went on the angle. Can't do that against Wigan.
Huddersfield in possession then with Griggs, and not afraid to play the ball and move it across the face of this Wigan defence, just a few metres away from their own line. They're under Paul Anderson for a second full season, first last year, third this year, in great form coming into these playoffs, as we have already said.
Well, that last 40 seconds is evidence. You can attack when you don't have the ball. We're going to put the Giants under so much pressure. They didn't gain a single metre in the 4 plays they had. They've kicked it again then to Joe Burgess, and they're back inside their own half defending on play 1.
Yeah, not the best kick again. You've got to sort that out, that is for sure. At least find terra firm, and you've got to make sure that it bounces, kicking away right down into the middle, keep away from the wingers.
You need the runners with the ball to make some ground, which is what they were incapable of doing.
This is Charnley, midway inside the Huddersfield half of the field. That's Sean O'Loughlin, the Wigan skipper. 300th Super League appearance for him. Penalty blown by the referee, Richard Silverwood. Wardle all over the top of him, not allowing the skipper to get to his feet. Actually, Wardle was all underneath him.
Well, he's claiming that it was being held down, but you can see that the arm was right over the top of the Wigan skipper. And not surprisingly, they're going to go for the 2 points, which is a good tactic, I feel.
Well, I've got sympathy with Wardle. He can't get up off the ground there underneath Sean O'Loughlin, but Earl Crabtree maybe should have peeled away a bit quicker.
And that's the key, I think. Had he done that, Wardle would have got out of there. I think it's a good sign when the referee's wanting a bit some quick rooks at this stage in this competition. It should open the game out.
So Wigan have elected to take a chance of kicking the first 2 points on offer from Matty Smith. Significant milestone awaits Matty Smith. He needs just 1 point for 300 with Wigan. So if he kicks this, he crosses that mark in the dream team for the second successive year this week. Here comes Smith then to try and get the first 2 points of the night. And he has done successfully, so Wigan nose in front by 2 points to 0.
Well, we made a point, didn't we, that Wigan were very, very sluggish against Warrington last week in that first 40 minutes, but that'll lift their spirits, you know, just take things steady. I always felt that in that first stanza against Warrington that they were just trying to do far too much. A little bit more composure, and I think we've seen that already from the Wigan outfit.
What they did have, Steve, was a lot thrown at them by the Warrington Wolves in that first 40 minutes. Warrington were exceptional. Things went against them and they lost some players through injury, but Wigan had a lot of defending to do. I think it's credit to them that they came back with having had so much defensive work to do, got themselves back into the game. Huddersfield Giants will need to start throwing something at it, at the Wigan Warriors. Need to play more of the game down where they are now. That's going to be assisted and abetted by a better kicking game.
Well, Wigan proved last week against Warrington they do have what it takes this year to go all the way again. They were 18-4 down at half-time. They won 24-20 in the end. Here, though, Huddersfield have restricted them to the halfway line or just over it as we reach the 5th tackle. So this is the last coming up here. Matty Smith with the kick. Low. And the scudder across the turf. And Murphy is the man who picks it up for Huddersfield. Oh, and then he is picked up by the Wigan defenders. Isn't that a penalty, Stuart, really?
No, exactly what happened there. As soon as he's lifted, held is called, they put him down, it's play on.
Well, the Wigan coach, Sean Wayne, will be very pleased with that. The difference between the two sides at the moment. Jake Connor putting the ball right down the throat of the opposition. Matty Smith making sure it hits terra firma. It's confusing for them, and that's why the Giants are in problem again.
Yes, they're deep inside their own half. Here is Antonio Kafusi. Debut in Wigan in round 1, the former London Bronco prop forward. That's solid defence from Ben Flower and company. There was no way forward then for Larn Patrick. They've reached the last tackle here. Oh, they're under pressure. Connor does well, actually, to get the ball away. And Bowen collects it on the fly, though. Well, he did well to get the kick in. He got no distance on it, but Bowen returns it with interest.
You got to slow play the ball. You wait till the 5th tackle and you shift it 2 passes to a guy that's not really a recognised kicker in the game. That's very poor setup for the Huddersfield Giants. They kicked early beforehand to give Jay Connor a bit of space. And that time they gave him 2 passes for the Wigan Warriors defence to get to move up and put pressure on him. Paul Anderson's going to have to sort that out quick, smart.
So pressure here on this Huddersfield defensive line as Blake Green gets the ball away to Matty Smith, and Gelling puts the ball down. That's the first mistake from the Cook Islander tonight, and he just gives himself a smack on the head.
Oh, there's an opportunity there. Remember what I said early in the piece, that the Giants, they move forward and then look at them, they're coming backwards, they're not moving in. There's no pressure applied there to Gelling, and he knows it. Golden opportunity wasted.
It's a massive relief, that, for Huddersfield. They almost needed life jackets. They were drowning, weren't they, in their own half of the field. There's 8 minutes of the game gone. They've seen an onslaught, really, with and without the ball. But they need to get up to the pace here. It's as simple as that.
So here comes Aaron Murphy again. Again, his legs leave the ground. He shouts held as Richard Silverwood. They put him down, play on. And Green and Sargentson and Farrell harassing the man in possession of the ball. It was Larn Patrick. Here now is Big Earl Crabtree. Bounced off McAlorum. Couldn't get through Sean O'Loughlin. A wrestle on the floor from O'Loughlin and Wigan. Lunt waits at dummy half. Back it goes to Robinson. Again, a hurried kick from Robinson. At least he finds the ground, but it's Bowen who picks it up once more.
Well, that really is disappointing, and I'm sure that Paul Anderson has to get it. He's taking away the responsibility, giving that to Luke Robinson. Even though it did hit the ground, it wasn't a good kick. They've got to try to force this Wigan outfit back. Every time Wigan has been forced into their own half, they've succeeded in getting into the Giants' red zone.
Joel Tompkins takes it forward, watched tonight from the terraces by Sam Tompkins. He arrived in the UK from New Zealand only this morning. He's turned up to see his former teammates in the opening game of this playoff series. Seated apparently with a few mates, and his younger brother Logan, he is here as well. And a bit of confusion there, but the ball eventually finding its way to Joe Burgess. He's reached the 5th tackle, so this is the last for Wigan. And Blake Green again with a measured kick out to the right-hand side, looking for Charnley. Charnley hacks it forward, and then, well, it's Brett Ferris to the rescue for the Giants. It's a goal line dropout that Wigan have forced. Measured kick, this.
Yeah, but there's nobody there. No one shouts for it. No one had dropped back. Poor old Aaron Murphy. Well, total confusion in the Giants' line. And if they don't sort this out, I mean, it looked as though it was going to be an easy one there for Josh Charnley. They're all over the shop. He knows the opportunity was there.
He's after a try tonight for 150 in his career.
Well, the test of the playoffs is to be able to ride through the periods when your side aren't going well. And that's clear, isn't it, for the first 10 minutes in this match. Huddersfield under pressure. Can this survive the storm? You know, when Castleford won here in the Challenge Cup, it was on the basis of some brilliant defence on their own try line. They're again here asked to defend near to their own try line, the Giants, and they need to come up with the right answers.
Wardle gets McIlaurin down. They go down the short side here with Joel Tompkins once again. He's clawed to the ground on tackle 3, but they're 10 metres away of Wigan. And the ball comes in centre field to Smith. And Smith looks for the runners. It's Green. And Green again with a kick, looking for Burgess. Through the fingertips of Burgess. Chance goes begging.
Well, it was on the other side on that right with Charnley. He had an opportunity. Blake Green is completely controlling this game, but Burgess got the fingertip to it. That would have been a sensational take, and that was a try for all money.
Well, he's taken them this season a few times, has young Joe Burgess. This is his playoff debut. 22 tries in all, 19 in the Super League.
You know what, Eddie, you talk sometimes in the commentary about relieving penalties. Well, this is when Huddersfield need a relieving penalty. They're the second most penalised team in Super League. They need in this set to run hard enough to create enough trouble for this Wigan Warriors defence that Wigan infringe and force Richard Silverwood to blow his whistle. Because that's what's going to relieve the pressure, get them further down the field and perhaps allow them to put an attacking kick in for once in this game as we approach the 12th minute.
Crabtree can't get away from Sean O'Loughlin. He went looking for the big man then. Crabtree, he plays the ball. And there's just no way forward, is there, for Kafusi and company at the moment. Wigan are flying in defence. Dominant performance from them at the moment.
Yeah, but this defence is going to be very hard to break down. And this is where the likes of Sean Lunt... Oh, that's back to 6.
It is. But they nearly went for it, and it bounced off him, went forward. And so, well, they've got another set of 6, Huddersfield.
Well, they were asleep. The Giants just went to sleep there. I'm trying to make the point that ever since we've seen Sean Lunt
Here's a relieving penalty.
And boy, do they need it as well.
There you go. Everybody watching in Huddersfield, there you go. There's your team's chance to get back into this game.
I'm just making the point, Eddie, in regards to that. Every time Sean Lunt has gone into the dummy half position, he's offloaded, which means that Wigan don't have to look after him. They don't have to have one or second marker, say, in case he dummies and goes on his own. And that's what the Giants need a little bit more of. Try to get a little bit uncertainty in this Wigan defensive line.
Well, they're starting this set of 6 inside the Wigan half of the field, which is something of a rarity. And Kafusi again plays the ball to Lunt. He hands it on to Robinson. He then gives it to Connor. He's not short of confidence, this young man, but he's wrestled to the ground by Joel Tompkins. They're inside the 20, and this is Ferris. Short ball from him, a breakthrough by Wardle. A great tackle, though, defensively by Bowen.
Unbelievable by the fullback Bowen. Wardle thought he was over.
Michael Lawrence now. Ooh, that was a bit high. Last tackle here, Lunt to Ferris, and Ferris, has he got this ball down? The ball's come back. If he hasn't, Connor has. And this is going to be a decision for the video referees tonight. Ben Thaler and Steve Ganson. Now, the big question is, did he ground it first up, or did Jake Connor then get the opportunity? Stuart, first and early decision for these two.
It is. Well, he's still in possession of the ball at that point. He's put it against the knee of Charnley. He's still got possession. He loses it at that point. That's going to be classed a knock-on. He put the ball into Charnley's knee. He lost possession after that. That'll be a knock-on. So it doesn't matter, as far as I'm concerned, what happens after here, because the knock-on's already occurred. There'll be no try.
Well, the encouraging thing for them, as the no-try decision comes up, the encouraging thing for Huddersfield is first time in Wigan territory, they crossed the line.
Yeah, and that'll boost their confidence. Boy, they needed it as well. As Brian mentioned, they were desperate for that penalty. What about the tackle from this fella? Matt Bowen. It looked for all the world Wardle had scored.
Sensational play, wouldn't it, from the fullback? We've seen what he can do in attack and what he can do in defence. Huddersfield has just had a pretty good rest there, Eddie. Can they now inflict some pressure and pain on Wigan when they carry the ball forward here? Or will Wigan easily get up over the 30-metre line before it's their turn to kick? They really do need some good line speed and really bend the backs, hit with the shoulders and drive Wigan backwards.
That's what they're trying to do. They managed to restrict the movement forward of Tompkins. And here in centre field is Matty Smith, who finds Green. And Huddersfield managed to get to him in the shape of Robinson. Bowen again. Liam Farrell. Liam Farrell goes down, tackle number 4, just outside his own 20-metre line. Sargentson makes another 5, 6, 7 metres. So here we are at the last. And the kick now from Wigan. Robinson's trying to get to Matty Smith before the kick goes in. Only finds Scott Griggs. Griggs then gives it to Murphy, and back come Huddersfield.
Great set, Huddersfield. That's a great defensive set. Well done. They're back in this game, Eddie. As you said, their first attack saw them over the line. Great defensive set. There's your reward.
Well, don't lose your cool at a time like this. It's allowing Huddersfield to gain the momentum with the penalty scores. It's 30-35 metres downfield, and no doubt about it. You can see Ben Flower trying to take the winger's head off. Not advisable.
I think you've taken him to the ground. Okay.
So Ben Flower, the referee said calm down. He said, I am calm. Don't know how you can be calm in the playoffs, and it didn't look like it for a moment, but penalty to Huddersfield, and they get the ball again to start this set of 6 inside the Wigan half. There is Sam Tompkins, next to him brother Joel, as I say, just back brother Logan. Joel's playing out in the middle, Logan's next to him, and Sam Tompkins watching. And first appointment after a long flight back from New Zealand is here at the DW Stadium tonight. Do we read anything into that?
Well, a lot of people were trying to tell me that he was going to
read something into this, because Charnley's after this. Connor gets back, gets a slide tackle in, which would have done the Wigan Athletic proud. And in fact, it does Huddersfield proud, because Cudjoe's got it back. Yeah,
and look at the situation where the Giants now find themselves well and truly way down that field. When I was just about to make the point that it's probably the first time that the Giants could have started to control a game with a kick into the corner, and all of a sudden they're giving away 50 metres.
Well, the playoffs punish you if you don't convert your chances into tries. It was a great 3v2 that they created. Too many attackers and too few defenders, but the pass don't go to the right player, and the chance was gone.
Much better kick. That's what was needed. That is what this boy is all about, Luke Robinson. And it is a wise move by Paul Anderson to take away the responsibility on the youngster's shoulders of Jake Connor.
I wouldn't think he's taking the responsibility away. I think they'll share it. I think you'll see Jake Connor kick the ball again. That man, Danny Brough, it's his kicking game that they're missing, but I'd be very surprised if Jake Connor doesn't put his foot on this ball again. Because if you're the Wigan Warriors and you think all the kicking's going to come from Robinson, Steve, it just shuts it down too easily. Luke Robinson will step up and kick the game, kick the ball. Jake Connor will kick the ball as well.
Yeah, but you've got to give Paul Anderson the benefit of the doubt, because the first 3 kicks from this fella, Jake Connor, was all astray. He's sent the message out, Luke, you take control, and he's done just that.
Well, Robinson, on his 200th appearance for Huddersfield, he has played in the playoffs for 3 different clubs. And he was with Wigan in the 2003 Grand Final against the Bradford Bulls, when Wigan were beaten by Bradford at Old Trafford. Look to get back there again, the number 7 in the Huddersfield colours. Here goes Burgess. It's a good run from him. A good job that Crabtree was there.
Should have been penalised there.
The referee's version of events was that Sargentson was diving. Here's McIlaurin, and Blake Green's gone for a 40-20 attempt here. Oh, it's not a bad kick either. Griggs can't get to it. That's a tremendous kick from Blake Green.
Tremendous, you're right, Eddie. And it was early in the tackle count. They went on the 4. They didn't bother to wait to the last. And it's a great ploy. You know, Blake Green has got all the experience in the world, but I can't believe that Griggs didn't get this, make an attempt earlier, and then came up with the error. He knows it. He should have gone for that ball a lot quicker. But take nothing away from the kick.
Oh, brilliant from Blake Green, man of the match in last year's Grand Final. Wigan here with a great chance.
Eddie, you pose a question in regards to Sam Tompkins coming back and being in this game. There's a lot of rumours going around that he'll be wanting to play for Wigan if they make the Grand Final. And I had one guy came up to me and said, is it true that he'll be playing for Bath? Well, the rumours just continue on.
Well, I think his name's Tompkins and not Burgess. It has been known, of course, that stars from the NRL come over here and play in playoffs and grand finals. Adrian Morley and Andrew Johns spring quickly to mind. But that's for another day. This is the playoffs. And that's not the best pass from Sean O'Loughlin. They've lost ground there. Burgess manages to retain possession. Oh, has he, though? Has this ball been pinched? No, it hasn't. He plays the ball to Farrell. And here comes McIlorum.
Boy, that was unlucky. It looks as though McGilvray had actually just snatched that ball away.
O'Loughlin again to Blake Green, and now Smith. And he was collared by Cudjoe, finished off then by Earl Crabtree. McIlorum once again. Green once more. The kicking has been so important tonight. Murphy with work to do. Great chase. Great chase by Wigan. And led by Anthony Gelling.
Yeah, good defence as well, and they knew exactly what Blake Green was going to do. And to put it in the in-goal area. Remember, Blake Green, more or less a 40-20. It was a mistake by Scott Briggs. It put him in the... But that is exclusive stuff, isn't it? Wonderful. Great kick, great defence. That's all you need.
Crabtree with a few problems. Needing some running repairs. Great run from Gelling. He made the mistake earlier on, but he trapped Huddersfield in goal. We're going to get the goal line dropout in a moment. Now that Crabtree has apparently recovered from the knock he took. So Connor with the goal line dropout. Gets it to halfway to Green. It bobbled and bounced, and Green just picks it up, gives it to Dom Crosby. Crabtree leading the way again. Important that they keep the big fellow on for as long as they can. McIlorum. Ball inside then. And it was Tony Clubb who played that ball. Here is Gelling again. And Gelling almost pushed over the line by Joe Wardle. It's Smith, and Clubb again will take this ball forward for the Wigan Warriors. Down he goes as well. McIlorum looping pass to Smith in centre field. He finds Green. Green then to Bowen. Bowen then to Sargentson. Sargentson asking the question. Griggs and McGilvray coming up with the answers. Penalty though. Penalty. He went over the top to Jermaine McGilvray. They've got another penalty here, Wigan. They're 3 metres away from the line.
Oh, that's a coach killer. On the 5th tackle, and they give away the silly penalty. Just over enthusiastic there.
So 21.5 minutes gone. Wigan leading 2-0 and applying the pressure here with a repeat set after the penalty. And Pettybourne will take it forward. Well, the big guns are out there now, all right. Pettybourne, Crabtree, Clubb. O'Loughlin, Smith. Smith to Bowen. Bowen wide. Charnley! Josh Charnley makes it 150 career tries. But Josh Charnley, more importantly, makes it Wigan 6 and Huddersfield 0. An incredible scoring record this young man has got. 129 tries now for Wigan in 118 appearances and 150 for the career.
This should have been the last tackle, and they gave away the silly penalty. And watch how they suck in Aaron Murphy. Out on the wing, is in no man's land. It's easy for Charnley. This was quick thinking, but the defence all at sea.
Well, you could feel it coming, couldn't you, Steve-O? They were building pressure, repeat set, waiting for the Huddersfield Giants to crack. And it was that 5th tackle penalty. You got all the way to the end of your set. You got to go again against a side that are ramped up and ready to attack. No, McGilvray will want to redeem himself. He's had a great season, Jermaine McGilvray. Disappointed with what happened there in that last tackle play. He's got the ability and he's got the form to get his team back on top.
Well, 20 tries now in the Super League for Josh Charnley, 22 in all. Incredibly, his last, if you count today, his last 13 appearances have produced 18 tries. Can Smith add the extras? Can Smith add the extras? No. 6-0 Wigan.
And fully deserved the pressure that they've applied on the Giants' defence throughout. It has been superb, and the utilisation of the dummy runner, but the pass from the fullback Matt Bowen, and poor old Aaron Murphy was in no man's land. It was so easy, but that's the ability that the Wigan side have, is that they can utilise the likes of Anthony Gellin to come as a dummy runner and suck in the winger, which he did with Murphy, and for Matt Bowen to throw the final pass. It was a great team effort there by Wigan.
Green's underneath the kick-off. Pettibone will run it back again, halted by Larm Patrick, Leroy Cudjoe and Jermaine McGilvray.
Well, I guess Huddersfield want to do everything possible to force an error here, try and get their hands on possession. Wigan have had far more of it. Just look, they've made twice as much possession, when in possession. Really dominating that area. You'd expect them to be ahead. But look at it, swinging it wide. Clearly, easily getting out to their own half, and Charlie's well over the halfway line.
Yeah, brilliant hands by Wigan.
And again, we see
run for Charlie.
And again, we see Aaron Murphy coming out of the line. He went for the huge gamble, tried to go for the intercept. It's the second occasion he's been caught out.
Smith. Oh, Smith's through the first defender. Pettibone's on his shoulder. He won't need it. He won't need it, Matty Smith. Smith goes over underneath the sticks, confirming his appearance in the Dream Team for the second year in a row. And Matty Smith, his 10th playoff appearance this is. 4 for Saints, it's his 6th for Wigan. Importantly, the try right next to the posts.
Just threw the dummy, should have been stopped. He had the man. Second dummy, Griggs took it. Wonderful individual try. The ability to just keep that alive. He should have been stopped, he knows that. Used Pettibone as a dummy and went in.
You don't get many second chances in this game, do you, when your defensive line is broken? Sean Lunt, who's put in some good shots and had some good defensive work. Saw your stats come up, Phil. 99% tackle success rate for the Huddersfield Giants just before that play. And Lunt, very disappointedly for the Huddersfield fans and their coach Paul Anderson, fell off that tackle. It's almost nothing that he can do to resolve that problem then when they're breaking through, flooding forward. Scott Griggs left it 2-on-1. It's a relatively easy try when the defence is switched off like that.
Well, it's only the second playoff meeting between the two. Last year was the first, and Wigan won by 22 points to 8 at the John Smith Stadium, the home of the then league leaders, and they are ahead here on their own midden tonight by 12 points to 0.
Well, this isn't a new experience to be behind by 12 points, as you see. When the side's broken in the middle of the field, early in the match, really, the first half, you are in trouble, aren't you? I suppose at 12-0 here, they really do have to have a very strong talk to themselves behind the post in that minute they had. Huddersfield, they've been 12-0 down behind against Wigan before and came back to win. But boy, it's going to take something really special, because from what we've seen in 26 minutes, it's a one-sided affair so far.
Quickly down to Bill.
Eddie Pettibone having a big say in that Wigan try. It was his initial run that got the ball rolling, and he was there on Matty Smith's shoulder. Matty Smith decided to go on his own. Eddie Pettibone, though, on the way back from the try, as Matty Smith was lining up that kick, was letting everybody know that he was there if he'd been needed.
And he's here now, and he is needed right in centre field.
Yeah, he's a good impact player as well, and Sean Wayne realises that. He knows when to send him out when opposition just perhaps tiring slightly. But the one thing, and again, Paul Anderson has got a lot to write down and try to assess at the half-time break. And I always say one thing, and it's you never take a dummy. Scott Griggs should have taken Matty Smith. OK, Smith perhaps would have passed to Pettibone, but you've got to say one thing. Do not take the dummy.
I've had another look at this as well. Pettibone, I thought that Scott Griggs had little chance to do that, but Pettibone was tracked and eventually actually tackled without the ball. But Scott Griggs' best option there was, as you say, go straight for Matty Smith. One of his players had done great defensive work to come back and cover up for Sean Lunt Smith's tackle. I think it was little Luke Robinson.
That's Josh Johnson who is on. He played the ball there. And Sean Lunt's clapping his hands at dummy half, wants to get on with this. Robinson, club, was not going to be fooled by that little sidestep.
Yeah, he didn't take the dummy, did he?
Ooh, that's a sliced kick from Griggs straight to Joe Burgess.
Well, apart from the two good kicks by Luke Robinson, the rest has been a bit of a shambles, I'm afraid, for the Giants. And they're just allowing Wigan to take control, get into the over the advantage, get into the opposition half with considerable ease.
Go two. Be careful, Josh.
Here's Charnley, one of the Wigan try scorers tonight.
Good ploy that Sean Wayne does on a regular bit. Oh, that's a silly penalty to give away. Ferris says I never did.
Well, the referee took the appeal from Josh Charnley here.
Yeah, you can see he's pulling at the ball.
He's not pulling at it. He's got every right to go down with his hands on the ball. He hasn't pulled away from it.
Well, he's got the penalty, so...
Well, that doesn't mean he's done it, Steve.
Well, what's the arm?
He's got to go down with him. He just can't let go of it. Josh Charnley's got the ability to offload the ball then.
Stuart, can you settle this?
Well, we've said all season where players are tackling the ball and the ball's going to come out like that. The referee's always going to go with the ball still, and I think he had no option there.
Here's Tony Clubb.
Good run as well,
Tony
yes.
Clubb. He carried Sean Lunt about 5 or 6 metres forward with him. It's McIlorum. Back he comes to Blake Green. Here now, Liam Farrell. Farrell trying to jink his way through. Michael Lawrence got to him, fortunately for Huddersfield. McIlorum again from dummy half. Lawrence once more. Knock on. Knock on, says the referee. McIlorum doesn't agree.
Yeah, he thought Lawrence had moved out and gone for the ball, but I think you might see that it was the ball-carrying arm that he went for.
I think Huddersfield are on the life support machine here at the moment, Eddie. They really are. 12-0, they're still in the contest. We've seen them get to the other end and almost get the ball over the line. But another score in the next few minutes would probably kill off the hopes. You don't feel a lot of energy, do you, from them at the moment? They need more than just a penalty here. They need a break, or they need somebody to get themselves up and over the halfway line. Leroy Cudjoe, is he the man?
Well, not on this occasion. Remember, they began the season with a stunning win here. It was one of only 2 in their opening 8. But as they say in Super League, it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
And that is what Wigan's defence are doing. They're finishing the opposition off completely. And this continual skip back on the inside pass, is not fooling the Wigan defence one bit.
Igakuma Tai takes it forward, the Tongan international. He'll play it to Lunt. He'll find Griggs, and a little dab through by Scott Griggs. It's a bit far though, and Bowen bravely goes down.
That's pretty brave though by the fullback Matty Bowen. There was he knew he was going to get it. It was as simple as that. Put the body on the line, and that can be the difference in play. Oh, what a great break!
Yes, Sargentson, he's had a wonderful first season for Wigan, hasn't he? And he steps over because Sean Lunt was lying in the ruck where he should have played the ball from. But Sargentson's been impressive all season for Wigan, and he's impressing again here tonight. This is Clubb though on the end of that pass, and Tony Clubb stumbles his way over the line really, but he was still there, and he was still big enough presence to find his way to the try line, and Wigan record another 4 points from Tony Clubb. Made history, Tony Clubb, 4 tries for England against Papua New Guinea in 2010. Never pulled on an England jersey since.
Beautiful offload there from Smith. The gap just opened up. This is Wigan at its best. But you see how we just Smith sucks in the man in defence. The gap opens and Clubb finishes off with great aplomb.
Another man on his debut season with this Wigan club, 9 seasons in Super League with London, and his last appearance for the Broncos was in the playoffs in 2005. But his first playoff appearance with Wigan. And a try to mark the occasion. Matty Smith with the attempt to kick the goal.
Well, you've just seen Wigan complement the brutal defence with lots of great attacking options there. If you get lots of people running and you have the man who's got great vision to pass the ball, invariably you'll find the right hole, and Tony Clubb did that, stepping through. Yes, he just hopes that his teammate here can add 2 more points and going to consolidate what's been a one-sided first half.
Yeah.
As it just sneaks inside the uprights, and Wigan are ahead by 18 points to 0, and they could be on the way to a week off.
Well, they look good, Eddie, but is this not beyond the Huddersfield Giants, but another try might be. This is a play we see again and again, and Luke Robinson, whoever was on his inside, have got their numbering all wrong and their positioning all wrong. Club went straight through the hole. A relatively easy try for them, but at 18-0, I'm going to give Huddersfield a chance. You've got David Fayumu to bring on. Not sure he's come onto the field yet. Akuma Tai has come on. Fayumu can break up a side. Fayumu can create something out of nothing. But Huddersfield have got to cling in. At the very least, get to the break without conceding again.
Well, if they do that, they've got 6¼ minutes to survive.
Well, can the Giants do something that they've done very little of tonight, and that is keep Wigan within their own half? And it's runs like that, and you know, they're not frightened, are they, the Wigan outfit, to bring a centre or even a winger in, third and fourth play of the ball. It's not all about just giving it to the forwards, and this is a chance.
It is a chance for Burgess. He's got Liam Farrell inside him. Scott Griggs gets to him, but Liam Farrell's there, and Liam Farrell goes over for another Wigan score, 2 in quick succession. And Wigan totally and completely dominant. 60 tries now for Liam Farrell for the Wigan Warriors, and he marks his 150th career appearance with his 13th try of the season.
Well, they certainly answered my question, can the Giants keep Wigan in their own half? And the answer is no, they can't. Quick play, through the hands, Farrell. Beautiful pass. Great stuff. Wigan knew exactly what to do, in and out, knew that Farrell was there. Can't stop him. They're running riot.
Well, before the game, there was a lot of talk about the absence of Danny Brough and what impact that would have on the Giants. I don't think there's been any difference, really, whether Danny Brough have been on the field or not for the last 35 minutes. Wigan have been by far the better side, and as you see here, with a brilliant, well-worked try. Long range, scoring and attacking from your own half are the greatest tries in rugby league, in my opinion, and that was another good one.
So Matty Smith now with the attempt as the Huddersfield fans watch on. Not so much in disbelief, but in, well, I'm afraid, resigned belief that they might have to be going around again next week at the John Smith Stadium, because Smith has added another 2 points to the total. It's Wigan 24, Huddersfield 0.
Yeah, very difficult. Said before the game, Eddie, in regards to, you know that if you do lose, you've got that second chance. But this was outstanding rugby league football. We often talk about it being out of the top drawer. It certainly was. It was wonderful furniture to start with.
Good speed from the touch judge as well. Back, kept up with Liam Farrell all the way down that sideline.
So 24-0 Wigan. Huddersfield will be glad that they are in this qualifying playoff, and they will get a second chance next week if the scoreline stays so heavily in Wigan's favour. So they won't be thinking about that just yet. They've got the last 3.5 minutes of this half and all of the second to go. And great Craig Kopjak has just conceded a penalty for a swinging arm, high tackle.
They've got great shape of Wigan. They really are working it out. They're sharing the workload as well. You know, you mentioned earlier, Phil, in regards to the fact that the centres and the wingers, they come into the middle, take away a lot of responsibility from the forwards, and it really is working hard.
Well, the ground staff don't have much work to do at half-time. It's only one half of the field, the one that Wigan are in right now. Huddersfield so long camped in their own half here, and Wigan again looking for that coup de grace here before the half-time hooter.
They are with Tony Clubb, and even in collision they're making 3 or 4 metres further forward. These Wigan players. This is Sam Powell, finds Green, finds O'Loughlin, quick hands to Burgess, and Burgess gets in the corner. The referee is not convinced.
There might have been an obstruction situation just a little bit infield.
So they're going to have a look at this, Stuart. It is obstruction, is it?
Well, there's certainly something happened in the middle of the field. I'm not saying it was deliberate, but it's that incident there. Does Sean O'Loughlin just catch it on the inside of Liam Farrell? I think probably looking again, we'll probably find he just does, which that means that he's impeded Luke Robinson getting out to tackle him. So I think that's probably going to be classed as an obstruction, and this one will be chalked off.
It looked as though Luke Robinson had made the decision to tackle Liam Farrell, regardless of who it went to.
Well, it was exactly the same as Joel Monaghan on this ground last week. And the try is denied. Well, at least there's consistency, Stuart.
There is. And I think the thing with that as well is he went to Luke Robinson's outside shoulder the way that the ball was going, which prevented him going across.
Yes, the players more and more were not going for obstruction questions of the video referees, but the players also are more and more savvy to the rules, aren't they? They know if they continue the run, there's likelihood is that they're going to get a favourable decision. The other thing is the defender goes to make a play for make a tackle on a player that's in front of the man carrying the ball. He just might get the red light rather than the green light.
Yeah, they just get the little nod, don't they? It's as simple as that, but there's a little knock on. Well, not having the best night is the hooker, Sean Lunn. Hasn't had many forays from the dummy half position, and when you look at it, you just think straight away, you know, that Wigan are just completely outplaying them in every single position.
What's happened there, Stuart, to the rule that if the ball comes out with hands on the ball, generally they would get the penalty going for them?
Well, let's just say that the referee perhaps didn't get the best view of that one, the view that we've just seen on the replay. So I think had he seen that, he would have probably gone with the penalty, with the knock on. Sorry, with the penalty.
Yes, he's gone with the knock on. That's why Wigan in possession again. A minute and a quarter to half time. The last thing Huddersfield want is to concede another. 24-0 is tough enough. Could be doable, but 30-0. or anything close to that, it's as good as over.
Yeah, and I must say, Eddie, that Wigan are not just putting their foot off the pedal. They realise that. They want more points just before the hoot at half-time.
And they might get them here because Bowen is on the run.
There's obstruction, wasn't there?
But there was obstruction here.
Obstruction.
Bowen has a little smile at the referee.
Yeah, I think you'll see that he runs around it, and
well, that one's clear.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Joe Tompkins through. Well, can the Giants? They certainly need something to lift them in the half-time break, because they really are looking down.
Well, that's where That's where Paul Anderson earns his corn, and he'll be doing that in 10 seconds or so. This is the last attack for Huddersfield in this first half, and I don't know what sort of pass that was supposed to be, but it didn't come up. It would have been a forward pass decision given by Richard Silverwood anyway. Not the best first 40 minutes of the season for the Huddersfield Giants. They trailed to a 5th minute Matty Smith penalty, 2-0. Then Charnley got the try. Then Smith got a try. Clubb got a try. Farrell got a try. There were 3 tries there in 9 minutes, 4 in 12. And Wigan have got this game by the scruff of the neck. Could have been much worse for the Giants too. 24-0, the Wigan Warriors, champions on a roll.
The Gladiators are entering the arena.
Sky Sports, your home of sport. Whenever you want, wherever you are.
Welcome to Hotels.com. Have you heard of our loyalty program? When you collect 10 nights, you get 1 free. Welcome rewards from Hotels.com. Wake up happy.
What I most love in this world is looking at each other.
To the right, to the right.
That's my boy.
Kick. No. To the right. That's my boy. Forward, to the right, to the right. That's my boy.
Love in this world is crossing the world, holding our hands.
That's my boy.
The award-winning
Introducing Seat Leon. Available with lane assist and 0% finance.
Seat. Technology to enjoy.
Vicky Harris. You're our kind of person. Through your lens, everyone looks photogenic, flawlessly framed, and perfectly posed. You couldn't take a bad picture if you tried.
Huh?
If anyone's giving extra, it's you, Vicky.
Cheers.
And at the Halifax, we think people who give extra should get extra back from their bank. Like a £5 reward each month with our reward current account. Vicky, you're on a roll.
Jeff and his companion here are the same age and love long walks on the beach. For some sites, this is enough to make them a match. At eHarmony, however, with our 29 measures of compatibility, we partner people on their behaviours, values, characteristics, and, you know, the stuff that counts. So, when you step out on an eHarmony date, you know it'll give you butterflies, not the hump.
It can take only this much dust for most other vacuums to lose suction. But my new vacuum uses oscillating Dyson kinetic cyclones to capture that dust. And more. Crucially, in its lifetime, it never loses suction.
Get up to £100 off Dyson upright and cylinder technology when you trade in any vacuum. Available at participating retailers. Find out more at dyson.co.uk.
I'll never find the one, will I?
Probably not. Bye.
Hello? Oh.
Drop everything. Get up to 70% off designer brands every day at secretsales.com.
Sammy Bastian tweeted at Paddy Power, "Squeaky bum time. Need this one to land a 5-fold accumulator." Well, we hear you, Sammy. And what could possibly go wrong? Uh-oh. It's the chairman's daughter. It's twins. That's going to mess with his head. Well, Sam, if your ACCA survives this madness, you deserve a big reward. We're offering a 20% bonus on all 5-fold and up accumulators. That's your winnings in your pocket plus a 20% bonus. Only with Paddy Power. Unbelievable offers for an unbelievable league. Download our app and bet now. We hear you.
Visit Experian.co.uk now for a free 30-day trial and see how Experian Credit Expert can help you really use your credit score. With access to helpful Experian experts over the phone and online, we can help you use it to get a credit card with the best rate for you. Use it to be matched with the loans you're best suited to. Use it to make your money go further. Take the next step to improving your financial future with your free 30-day trial at Experian.co.uk.
Available to buy and keep in Sky Store.
My name is Mr. Peabody. My son, Sherman. When I adopted Sherman, I vowed to be the best father I could be. And so Sherman inspired the greatest invention of my life, a time machine.
Buy and keep Mr. Peabody and Sherman from Sky Store, and you'll get it straight to your TV and the DVD sent direct to your home. DreamWorks Mr. Peabody and Sherman. Available to buy and keep in Sky Store.
The Gladiators are entering the arena.
Well, one of the greatest sporting events of the year starts on Friday the 26th, the Ryder Cup. And it's live all the way through on Sky Sports Ryder Cup. It starts a week tomorrow, the 26th. The playoffs are alive, and Wigan are proving to everybody that in 2014 the champions want to get back to Old Trafford. They lead here at half-time by 24 points to 0. Huddersfield with no answer, frankly, to the Wigan Warriors. And Sean Wayne, who celebrated his 50th birthday last Sunday. Happy birthday, Sean. 101 games, 72 wins. As the Wigan coach, looks like it might be 102 and 73. It's a winning ratio of over 70%. Well, Paul Anderson has got a mountain of work to do. They've arrived at these Super League playoffs in the best form of any of the 8 qualifiers. But look at the scoreline. They find themselves trailing by 24 points to 0 at half-time. Ryan Carney, John Wells. What can you make of that? Any hope for Huddersfield?
Why do people have so many question marks about a team that finishes third, Eddie? That first 40 minutes will answer all of those questions. They got a masterclass in how to attack John Wells with your defence from the Wigan Warriors for the first 20 minutes that ultimately led to the first try of the game.
It's what we've been saying for weeks now. We've had the privilege of previewing Wigan for 2 or 3 weeks. They set a benchmark, there's no doubt about that. Have a look at this for urgency in defence, line speed, all the things they talk about, getting your feet in, getting your hips under the opponent.
John, that's 5th tackle. They're setting up for a kick. Now, explain the thought process on this.
Well,
Rush
I think
and a 2-pass play.
Basically, I think they got caught without meaning to in this area of the field, which only gives you one out. It gives you one way to go and play to make the clearing kick. That was their mistake. It was the error was made 2 plays early, but they've been pressured into that by Wigan and by the vociferous nature with which they're defending. And of course, you've got a back three which are arguably the best, or a best of a good selection in Super League. Now they weren't able to take charge of that immediately. They gave away a couple of penalties, midfielders who were settling into the game. So step up Blake Green. I thought Blake Green has been outstanding in this first half. Have a look also at Aaron Murphy, because he's in a bit of a discussion with Scott Griggs, who you can't actually see in your picture. And keep your eye now until the kick on Aaron Murphy in those yellow boots. He's still wanting to know. He wants Griggs. He wants him across the field because he's got a fair idea of what's coming. In the end, the kick was just beautiful, and it split the 2 people. You did think that Scott
Griggs... He's had a good grab at it. He had a chance to get
there. Yeah, he's had an indifferent first 40 minutes to Scott for a very experienced fullback, and I'm going to show you another example in a second. This is from the... well, there was a dropout, false dropout, then a penalty. Now, again, we don't choose to pick on people in particular, and Scott's a friend of mine, so he won't mind, I'm sure. But I think you've got to be more dominant. You've got to be more dominant. You are goal line defence. This is playoff time, and he's got to get a man round the back. He wants an extra man here because they're outnumbered. The fullback who's just out of screen on your right, Matty Bowen, is creating the extra number. I don't think it's urgent enough. I think he's unsure of what's going on. Sean Lunt eventually does come round, but a play a couple of seconds too late. And then the extra man, just here, Matty Bowen. Well, he's an expert at that. It's a superb pass. Not an awful lot Aaron Murphy could have done. That's your opening score for you.
Opening score 6-0, then a Matty Smith try on 23 minutes, stretched it out to 12-0. Of course, there was that early Wigan Warriors penalty. And then 31 minutes, we saw a Tony Clubb try. You can talk us through this try now, but please, lay off Scott Griggs. Who needs enemies?
No, it's... I mean, this is Sargentson's break. That's not exactly the line he run, by the way. That's just an approximation of what he is. So you don't, this is Scott Griggs' job now. His job is to shut this down and get involved. And you have no dramas about this at all. The only thing I would say, and that's perhaps because they've been split so easily before, Scott Griggs, after making this, as any fullback should, you need to get yourself back. You need to get yourself out of the defensive line, and then it's up to guys like Ferris and the guy outside him to come in and shut the space down that he leaves. What he does, I guess because he's nervous because of what's happened, how easily Wigan have breached the line, he ends up defending the next play as well. Now, meanwhile, just a little side point. Have a look at this group of guys here. I thought they were outstanding. Look how quickly they fall into formation. All these fellas here, led by Blake Green, who's organising everything. So it's like a little dance that's going on in the corner of the screen. They do it so often. Meanwhile, Scott Griggs still stuck in at dummy half, which is why eventually there's Scott Griggs now tracking across. One more point to make about Sean O'Loughlin. If you are going so close to the line, you put pressure. We talk about putting pressure on opponents. Not these two, but this guy. And you look at the decision he has to make. And because, of course, Scott Griggs is stuck in the line. He can't get across and that extra metre that he needed to try and shut down the play.
18-0 from that Tony Clubb try, and straight off the kick-off then Liam Farrell went over. 24-0, as you said, Eddie, an absolute mountain for the Huddersfield Giants to climb. They will look like they'll be playing again next week. They got to start preparing for that game in the second 40 minutes of this game.
Yeah, they have, and if you look at the history books as well, teams from second place after the regular season have gone on through the playoffs, and they have contested 14 of the 16 grand finals we've had since 1998. Well, Wigan look like they're taking a giant stride, if you pardon the pun, to a week off and a game in a fortnight. They've got this game in the pocket at the moment.
Has he got downward pressure?
I think so.
Do you not want to?
I said no, you're deaf!
All the mums and dads really want to hear you.
I'm not worth it. Well, I think you are worth it. And I want to hear how you really feel. He abuses me.
Together, we're going to find a way to make this stop.
Jeff and his companion here are the same age and love long walks on the beach. For some sites, this is enough to make them a match. At eHarmony, however, with our 29 measures of compatibility, we partner people on their behaviours, values, characteristics, and, you know, the stuff that counts. So, when you step out on an eHarmony date, you know it'll give you butterflies, not the hump.
Vicky Harris, you're our kind of person. You're the photographer that everyone wants to say cheese for.
There we go.
You prize even the most camera shy out of their shell and boldly go where others fear to tread. If anyone's giving extra, it's you, Vicky. And at the Halifax, we think people who give extra should get extra back from their bank. Like a £100 reward for switching your current account to us. Vicky, now who's smiling?
It can take only this much dust for most other vacuums to lose suction. But my new vacuum uses oscillating Dyson kinetic cyclones to capture that dust. And more. Crucially, in its lifetime, it never loses suction.
Get up to £100 off Dyson upright and cylinder technology when you trade in any vacuum. Available at participating retailers. Find out more at dyson.co.uk.
Whatever you do, do not make a sound.
Sorry, they're nutty.
Nutty?
Nutty!
Kellogg's Crunchy Nut, tasty nutty flakes ruled by golden honey.
Nutty!
Those Crunchy Nut clusters too.
The Singapore Grand Prix weekend on Sky Sports F1.
Has he got downward pressure?
I think so.
First Utility Super League playoffs are underway. We're here at Wigan tonight. We're at Saints this Friday. Warrington and Leeds on Saturday. 7:30 Sky Sports 1 Friday. Sky Sports 3 for a double-header beginning at 2:30 on Saturday. Scoreboard here doesn't make pretty reading for Huddersfield Giants fans. They trail 24-0. I fancy Phil's stats will be even worse.
Well, there's some simple basics behind it. You know, you need the possession and you need position in this game of rugby league to win. 76 play the ball, so Wigan. They're running from right to left. They didn't need to get to the opponent's try line, but they've had 15 play the balls close to it. Now, the opposition, this explains the reason why they're 24 points behind. Just look how little possession they've had. 44 play the balls in total. They've hardly had any time in Wigan's half of the field. They need to reverse that quickly if they want to score some points.
Well, there was hope for Huddersfield in the early stages of that first half when for the first time they got up the other end of the field, and they actually did cross the Wigan goal line and look for a try, but it was chalked off rightly by the video referee. Since then, I'm afraid it's all gone to Gabbins as far as they're concerned, and Wigan are ahead by 24 points to nil as Matty Bowen prepares to get this second half underway. Here we go then. 40 minutes, and will Wigan be getting the week off, as looks likely next week? And will Huddersfield be playing on? We shall see.
Yeah, it's going to have to be a tremendous fight back by the Giants, and with defence like that, it is not going to be easy. I just get the impression with leading by 24 points to nil that Sean Wayne would have said, let's play real hard and strong for the next 20 minutes, and then maybe he can rest a few of his stars out there. But it's been an impressive performance by Wigan tonight.
Yeah, you get the feeling that they won't be taking their foot off the throat anytime soon. And the big challenge, I'm sure, that Paul Anderson has thrown at his side is, well, look, let's try and do better in the second 40 minutes. Lunt gets it away to Robinson. Robinson has a little scamper and a dance, but comes to ground on tackle number 5, so expect the kick here. And a Lunt shaped a kick, and Wigan waited for the kick. Lunt gets the ball away. It's Leroy Cudjoe, last week's hero. He pumps the ball skywards. The ball goes backwards, and it's Cudjoe following up. And I think that Cudjoe has got Huddersfield off to a flyer at the start of this second half. He has. Leroy Cudjoe with the try. Another man on his 200th career appearance tonight. There are anniversaries all over the shop. And he's edging towards 500 career points as well now.
Well, I made it quite clear in the first 40 minutes that the one thing that the Giants were not doing, and that was running from dummy half. And the first time that Sean Lunt does that, they get themselves into a position. They got caught out Wigan with the kick. Beautiful dummy, goes right through. Sean O'Loughlin takes it. They took the chance. Then we had the kick through. And it came up trumps. Good way to follow through there by Cudjoe. Well, we said it was going to be a remarkable fight back. He couldn't have done any better than to get up to a flying start. And there's the man that has allowed the Giants to have some hope.
Yes, the perfect start for Huddersfield Giants to this second half. Can young Jake Connor, can he add the extra two? Well, this would put a little bit of confidence into the minds of the Huddersfield Giants. You would imagine there wouldn't be too many doubts in the mind of Wigan, but this would be a decent enough start for them, but they've missed with the conversion. They do miss Danny Brough for that. 24-4.
Well, they had to try something a little different, didn't they? The kicks weren't going deep enough, so they had to contest. Now, are the players behind Leroy Cudjoe as he kicks it? Yes, they are. First it's Kochuk, and Jake Connor does well to make ground and knock the ball backwards. Good effort from the stand-in, stand-off and replacement for Danny Brough. He's influenced the game, certainly at the start of this half.
Right, down to Bill.
Eddie, interesting that just a few moments ago, talking to Paul Deacon as the teams came out at the start of the second half, Wigan's assistant coach, and he said that the challenge they've set aside is to keep the momentum going, because they've had good first halves and then dropped off in the second half in recent games. They've had bad first halves and then picked it up in the second half in recent games. They haven't strung together a full 80 minutes, and already they've dropped off slightly and they've paid the price. So Sean Way no doubt be getting the instructions down to the sidelines just to remind them what his half-time message was. There's Paul Deacon in the shot. Chris Thorman on the sidelines for the Giants telling me that Paul Anderson was simmering when he came into the dressing room. It looked as though it was shaping up for a paint stripping job. It didn't. It was a lot more constructive than that. And the area they're going to concentrate on, because they can do nothing if they don't get it right, is winning the ruck, going forwards and defensively.
Well, a little kick through by Robinson only finds Charnley.
Good play by the winger there, anticipating the little chip. It wasn't a bad one by Robinson, but boy, they've got so much awareness, haven't they, Wigan? Okay, maybe that's a poke in the eye that Wigan need, though, at 24-4. They should be confident to continue on.
First blood this second half then to Huddersfield, but Wigan looking to respond with Sam Powell. Disappears under that particular challenge from Wardle. Smith, here is Green and Farrell. He's got to tackle number 5.
Got to be a high bomb,
Blake
surely.
Green at dummy half, and there it goes, airborne from the boot of Matty Smith. And Aaron Murphy pouches it safely in defence for the Huddersfield Giants. He was full back last week, was Murphy, against St Helens, back in his more normal wing berth tonight.
And again, you can see that Wigan have been sparked by conceding that try. But their defence, probably for 90% of this game so far, has been nothing short of incredible. They just let their guard down. O'Loughlin took the dummy from Sean Lunt. It's really about one of the few times they've come up with a mistake.
Rich's kick straight into the arms of Bowen, who had positioned himself well for that. And he flings a long passing field to Joe Burgess. Matt Bowen. Here's Dan Sargentson now for the Wigan Warriors once again.
There's an example of what we spoke about before the match. Wigan's outside backs. Dan Sargentson, he made 10 metres. He had a pass from the dummy half and he made 10 metres. Joe Burgess, his second involvement in 3 players there, made 10 metres in possession, and it sets up play like this.
There's Smith, and here is Joel Tompkins. It could be a glorious moment for Tompkins. It is, he touches down.
He'll give this.
At last, it's his first try for Wigan since his return from rugby union. He has now reached 50 tries for this club in his 2 spells, and his last try in the playoffs against St Helens in 2011. And of course, big brother Sam is here to see him go over as well.
He'll enjoy this, but I'm afraid the Giants won't. The way that Wigan have utilised the dummy runners tonight has been superb. He had the opportunity to offload, but he had the momentum to go right the way through. The combination and a beautiful pass there by the loose forward. Matty Smith took it through. Never any doubt. Sulla's momentum slides right over. No doubt in the mind of Richard Silverwood. That's another try.
Yes, Logan is there to see it. I wonder where Sam is. There he is. Well, he's next to Steve Hampson. And I bet underneath all of that, and they've just spotted him on the big screen. I thought there might be a little glass or two. Still very popular here is Sam Tompkins, of course. Only flew into this country this morning. Apparently it was a big shock to the family he was coming home so early. Joel knew he was coming, and probably that's inspired him to that try, his first for Wigan. Improved by Matty Smith. Wigan back on course.
We often talk about the trio, though, so important, the 2 halfbacks and the loose forward. And there was never a better example than to see the way that those 3 combined, created a dummy runner there. Comes through Smith and then to Tompkins. It is a wonderful trio, and surely that would have brought a big smile, not only to the fans, but to their coach, Sean Wayne.
It's the shape you expect from Wigan, isn't it? We see it time and time again, but it's hard to give them too much credit for that when you look at the defence that they faced. Paul Anderson and the Huddersfield Giants, more importantly, the Giants players themselves involved in those attempted tackles, will hang their heads in shame when they look back on those efforts. They're much better than what they're showing in the tackle. It's not like they're getting caught out in reads. It's not poor defensive reads. It's just the inability, the unwillingness to put your body on the line and get hurt in the attempt to stop somebody.
8 minutes gone. They've traded tries, but Wigan have kicked the goal. 30 points to 4. And Blake Green was inside the 40. The bounce was unkind to him.
Brilliant kick. They went early on the forward pedal.
Yeah, exactly. It's good enough, isn't it? Look where McGilvray has to run the ball away from, and look at the chase led by Matty Smith.
Well, I was disappointed with the first half showing last week by the 2 halfbacks against Warrington, Blake Green, Matty Smith. They changed that all around, of course, in the second stanza, but they have been outstanding, both of them, tonight. They really have just controlled the game, not with ball in hand, but also with the kicking ability. There has been no answer from the Giants.
Lunt will have a run, and he had to bundle Matty Smith out of the way. Robinson and Connor. This time it's down the middle. That's better from Jake Connor. Well, the chase is a little late, but there's only 5 of them moving forward to greet Matty Bowen.
And that's all you have to do, Eddie, is just turn any player around. And on that occasion, he did turn Matty Bowen around. Chase was pretty decent as well.
Burgess now gets as far as David Fayumu, the New Zealand and Samoan international. Only started 1 game this year as Fayumu. 10 minutes or thereabouts of the second half gone. Good play again by Wigan. Sargentson just skipped away from the would-be challenger. Gets it to Burgess. Sargentson continues the run, and Sargentson gets the try. Deserves that, does Dan Sargentson. Started it, finished it, scores it. And Dan Sargentson, 9 tries for the season. His last absence was in the defeat at Huddersfield in May. It's his 15th consecutive appearance tonight, and the England Knights international is a shining star for the future.
He's had a tremendous season, but you've got to say that what on earth was Leroy Cudjoe doing? He went so early out of it, it was always going to be coming up a try. Very, very poor positional sense. Take nothing away from Sargentson. As Eddie said, started it, finished it.
Leroy Cudjoe was left all at sea because of Luke Robinson's decision to fly in. What you had is Robinson and Cudjoe stuck out wide on their own and short for numbers. Luke Robinson decided to solve it very far up the field, feeling that he could get to somebody, one of the Wigan players, and shut the play down. He was nowhere close. That put Leroy Cudjoe in a very unenviable position, having to make a decision to follow Luke Robinson in. When Robinson was beaten, well, there's very little Cudjoe could do.
He's had a good season, Dan Sargentson, an excellent season since he came north.
Yeah, he's settling well, isn't it, to the Wigan camp. And he would have enjoyed that, don't worry. And what a great game this guy has had tonight.
Bang in front, doesn't miss those. Matty Smith, 36 points to 4. It's amazing, the opening games of the playoff series, Sean Wayne with a big smile on his face, but we often get this, don't we? We often get despair for one side and a big win for the other. This will set Wigan off if they hang on to this, and there's no reason to suggest in the next half hour or so that they won't. They'll get next week off, they'll have a breather, they'll fix up any bumps and bruises, and then they are 80 minutes away from a return to the Theatre of Dreams.
And what a great take by Matty Bowen there. He was just a bit confused. Thought he might have hit the post there. And can these Giants stop this whirlwind effort by Wigan? The ability, I keep saying it, but the ability to share the workload. Centres, wingmen coming in, taking the ball down the middle.
Well, apparently the clever money this weekend is on 4 successive home wins. There's a charge down from Sean Lunt. Quick thinking by Matty Bowen, and quick little legs as well from Matty Bowen. Just let me make that point, that the clever money, as I say, on 4 home wins. It's never happened before in the opening weekend of the playoff season. There might just be an away win somewhere along the line. Castleford, Widnes, or the Catalan Dragons.
You never know, it's been so tight, hasn't it? Good work there, McGilvray had to as well. Wigan's ability also to, I mean, when you're in such a commanding lead, you know, to be able to sort of try to offload with like that.
Oh, brilliant from Green. He finds Pettiborn, the support there. It's Burgess who's got the legs. He's also got his shorts. He also has Bowen in support. And Wigan are on their way to a week's leave. No question now. If there was a doubt, that completely finishes it. Bowen with the try.
Yeah, the ability, as I said, to have that confidence, keep the ball alive, deep within their own half. And the pass here from Blake Green, outstanding. Pettiborn did it very, very well indeed. And this guy, once he got into top gear, back on the inside, Matty Bowen. And boy, the crowd enjoyed that.
I like Blake Green. I think he's a fabulous player. He's gone through 2 front rowers here, Earl Crabtree and Craig Kopchak. That should not happen. Those 2 front rowers should be licking their lips at the prospect of a halfback deciding he's brave enough to run straight at them. Well, he makes the holy show of them. Gets an offload away to Pettiborn. Shows great composure out to Burgess. That man, like all the good fullbacks, backing up the middle. Well, there's 2 front rowers, and it's the strongest point, it's the strongest suit in this Huddersfield side is their big pack. We hear about it all the time. Well, a halfback from Wigan has gone straight through 2 of the biggest.
They look like they're playing in the wrong tournament. They've turned up at the wrong event at the moment, on the evidence of what we've seen. And the coach, Paul Anderson, has the biggest task of his coaching career. Last year, he was voted as the coach of the year. Well, he side did remarkably well last year. They lifted the league leaders' shield and then crashed out in the playoffs. this will take the biggest rebuilding job of all time here now, to regather the side for whoever they face in week 2, because they just look like they're playing in their own division.
Oh, we got a great view of it here on the ref cam. Earl Crabtree too high, Craig Kopchak trying to get onto the ball and trails off the tackle, and Pennybourne doing a brilliant job, as I say, to find Burgess. Just beats one tackle, composes himself and finds Bowen on the inside. It's a brilliant finish to the try, but it all comes from Blake Green. Even further back than that, it comes from 2 front rowers not being able to handle Blake Green.
Well, Bradford, this is a little bit of hope for the Huddersfield Giants supporters, as we remind you that Saints Castleford is live with us tomorrow at 7:30, and Warrington Widnes follows on Saturday at 2:30. There's no second chances there, and there's none either for Leeds and the Catalan Dragons soon after that on Sky Sports 3. Bradford against St Helens in the opening round of the 1999 playoff campaign. Saints were beaten by 40 points to 4. Saints came back, they won the grand final 8 points to 6 against the same opposition, Bradford. So hope there for Huddersfield, and you might cast your mind back just 12 months as well, because Huddersfield lost to Wigan in the opening exchanges in the Super League playoffs. Then they hammered Hull, scoring over 70 points, 76-18. And there's a grapple tackle.
Yeah, he had to get the nod from the touch judge, actually, before Silverwood put the arm up to give away the penalty.
Jake Connor.
It just has not been their night, Giants, but there's no excuse. Wigan have been superb. They've controlled in every department, and their coach, Sean Wayne, will be very, very happy indeed. As you say, Eddie, only 80 minutes away from another appearance at Old Trafford.
I think Jake Connor's doing okay. He's certainly not the reason why he started behind. If you compare him to Danny Brough at the same age, Danny Brough had just started to play for Dewsbury in the lower leagues. He had 4 seasons at that level before he entered Super League. So Jake Connor's development might not be the happiest night for him, but I'm sure he's going to improve from this experience.
This performance has got little to do, Phil, as you say, with Jake Connor.
Oh, what a ball from Bowen. Oh, and Charlie just runs straight through Scott Griggs for his second try of the night. Well, this has all the hallmarks of an embarrassing evening for the Huddersfield Giants, I'm afraid.
I think they've already got to that point.
They've decided that they're going to play next week, but they ought to really try and get things sorted out.
They're that far past embarrassment, they might even turn it into good as this game goes on. This is... I can't put words. This is the 3rd place side getting pulled apart like this. Some experienced players as well, and falling off tackles at the end of it. Phil spoke about a big rebuilding job. Well, it's more than that, isn't it?
Yeah, not only that, it's just that their field position, they're all at sea. They've stopped talking to each other. They know that some wingers are coming in on the angle, trying to stop, and that shows you that there is no talk about amongst the players. They've lost their confidence. The smile on Sam Tompkins says it all. It's convincing, yes. And a bigger smile from this fella, who he knows the way to the line, doesn't he?
Well, if you think back to the playoffs last year, it was Huddersfield who embarrassed one of the sides. Hull, I think they absolutely tore a point. Did they put 70 points on them?
I just mentioned that, Phil, yeah. I'm glad you were listening. 76-18 it was, yeah. Against Hull, after losing to Wigan in the first week. Yeah,
Brian was telling me something.
Yeah, he was telling you a joke, was he?
No, I wasn't.
About four minutes ago, I mentioned it, Phil.
Rob a bank with you.
I'm sure you'll pick the right restaurant. Anyway, the kick is good from Matty Smith. 48 points to 4. He has, as Phil rightly said before, and Kieran Patel alongside him, they have a huge rebuilding job to do for this time next week. They'll be at home, though.
Well, it will be an advantage, yes, but psychologically, I mean, physically they've just been overrun. They've battered, they've bruised. But mentally, this is going to be difficult to get over.
He made an interesting decision as well, Paul Anderson, not to pick Chris Bailey in his side. Chris Bailey was one of the standout performers, I think, in that victory over St Helens. But instead of starting with Chris Bailey or having him on the bench, he's gone with Michael Lawrence and brought in Josh Johnson. went for a bigger pack. Well, whether or not it's paid off in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, we'll answer that question.
20 of those 48 Wigan points, by the way, are alongside the name of Matty Smith. Looks like Wigan aren't turning down the gas with 20 minutes to go. Aiming for a 7th grand final. They've only missed the playoffs twice, you know, in 17 years of Wigan. 2005, 2006. I think in those days, actually, they were battling relegation, weren't they? Certainly for one of them.
Yeah, different end of the table, that's for sure. But we've just witnessed the first poor kick of the night from Wigan, right down the throat of the full-back.
Well, Eddie, you're a bit like me. We've all got pretty limited memory space. You know?
And you've got no ears as well.
Yes, yeah, I have a few other faults as well. But I'm just going to remind everyone, because we've sat and watched for the last 2 Thursdays. Wigan play well, they've beaten Leeds, they've beaten Warrington. But the game before that, they lost to Widnes, a side who only finished 8th in this competition. You know, teams don't play at their best for week after week after week. It's impossible. Wigan are peaking here, but it is still 3 more weeks before we get to the grand final. So there is hope for the other sides, although the standard they've set tonight, formidable.
And that kick from Jake Connors out on the full.
It sums it up as well. Nothing has gone right. Seriously, Paul Anderson would probably want to get the DVD of this and just throw it in the dustbin. There's no point in looking at this.
You've got to recycle now. You've got to recycle.
Yeah, you've got to do these days, Phil. But
his side needs to recycle as well, because there's 20 minutes left in this game. I think it's important, the messages that he gets out there, to keep his side alive at this point. Look, there's some good urgency there in defence, but it was a solo effort. And I think they need to probably take the lesson of working collectively rather than individually.
Yeah, and also the biggest problem is that, you know, you say they show the effort, but there was only one person moving forward. The rest was hanging back. There's no combination in defence, no talk between the players. It's been a poor performance.
It has. You say Paul Anderson might throw the DVD in the recycle bin. I tell you what, he might just sit all the players down on Monday morning or tomorrow when they get in and say, we're going to watch this and we're going to suffer like my club's supporters have suffered last night.
They don't have to watch it again and suffer. They're suffering enough. He doesn't have to tell them anything, because every single player in a Huddersfield shirt knows that they have not played well. What on earth was Griggs trying to do there?
Well, I think the penalties for the late challenge on the kicker is just trying to get through the defensive line.
So here come Wigan again. Sargentson once more. I mean, 17 minutes to go. This could be anything.
Yep.
Green. And there's Dom Crosby back on the field.
It won't be a Huddersfield win, I guarantee you that.
Powell and Blake Green gets the ball away, and O'Loughlin juggles, but hangs on and touches down. But it seems every time we can get to this end of the field, they're scoring.
Well, they can shoot from anywhere, can't they? There's no pressure on them. And the pass there from Blake Green, well, the one earlier for Pettibone was special. But this really will, I think, delight Blake Green here as he comes to the end of his Wigan career. To get his hands around the defenders, maintain his balance and patience, and then release it at the very last second. Look, he goes between the players, keeps his eyes alert, and nice shot down from Sean O'Loughlin. Juggles it with his right hand initially and brings it back into ball before grounding it close to the post.
Yeah, good hands by the skipper, because the ball was just slightly behind him, but had enough wherewithal to just drag it through. Watch how he has to go back for this one, but he could get it. Well done. They're running riot, and boy, they are enjoying it. And the Giants fans, they're making their way home over the M62.
Well, I'm glad you said that, Steve, because I suggested that, I think, last year when Hull went to Huddersfield and were hammered, and I got an email from the guy that we picked out, and he was on the way to the loo. He said he'd never, ever left a match in 80 minutes before the 80-minute siren had sounded. So Ken Davies not leaving, that is for sure, the German.
You've got a stronger bladder.
You actually got a text?
No, I got an email from the gentleman concerned.
I'll tell you what, this game is going to have a knock-on effect, Eddie, on the next 3 games we're going to cover on Sky Sports, tomorrow and 2 on Saturday. the other side's capable of lifting to this standard that Wigan have set tonight. We'll see this as the challenge. Their immediate challenge is their opposition on the weekend, but this level of performance is the challenge that they will set themselves as teams. And there's a few teams in that 8. I'm thinking of Leeds, I'm thinking of Warrington, I'm thinking of St Helens, I'm thinking of Casford, that are capable of getting to this level and beating Wigan if they do play at this level. This will set the tone for the playoffs for the rest of for the other sides.
You honestly think that Wigan, I mean, they're looking very impressive, but Wigan are that good tonight? Huddersfield are not that bad?
Huddersfield are terrible.
Okay.
But Wigan are very good tonight. They are doing a lot good. They're making very few mistakes, Eddie. Okay. And it started early on. The first 20 minutes, there was only 2 points in it for the first 20 minutes, and Wigan pounded away, and they snapped this Huddersfield side in half. Got into their ribs, into their faces.
It's been a near complete, perfect, decisive victory.
Well, this is now the biggest win in Wigan's playoff history. 2008, they beat the Catalan Dragons in Perpignan, 50 points to 26. In 2012, they beat Catalan here 46-6, and the previous year they beat poor old Catalan again 44-0. So 3 of the biggest wins in the playoffs have come against the French team, but this is the most emphatic in Wigan's playoff history to date.
I think the other thing we've seen really is the clinical nature which they've converted the chances. You know, some of them haven't really been a half chance up there, and yet they've come away with 4 or 6 points from it. They've really taken every opportunity. They've battered their opponents to start the game with the defence, and then they've now really turned on some gloss. Look how many players are supporting the ball carrier, although he's lost it there. I wonder whether there's a danger, Brian, you can play too well in a game before you get to the grand final.
No.
Can't get rid of all your best rugby.
No.
It's been good.
It's all about winning, and they are enjoying this. Not only as we talk about the confidence that you get, but the way that they've taken this opposition apart tonight. I keep saying it, but they are working as a unit. The poor Giants, they look as though they've never played with each other for a long, long time.
The big question for the Giants is, will they want to play together again next week? And I really think that Paul Anderson's task here now tonight, when the hooter sounds and the players walk into the dressing room, I think the words that he gives them will determine whether they're alive for next week in the playoffs, or whether really their hopes and whether they've given up in their mind subconsciously and they've got nothing left to give.
Well, let's remind ourselves, we're watching the team here in claret and gold that finished 3rd in the First Utility Super League table. Coming into these playoffs, they had the best run of form behind them, unbeaten in the last 7 games. And
yeah, there should have been no pushovers, but we've got a little bit of a pushing at the moment. Calm down, fellas.
Don Crosby is the victim of Huddersfield's ire because of a challenge on Luke Robinson.
A little bit high, and they tried to wrench the head off.
Well, Robinson, of course, got a bit of a clattering last week, didn't he?
Matai took offence to it.
Crabtree with the run.
Can they finish off with well, a little bit of a positive nature? And well, Crabtree he's lost the plot. He's gone looking.
Good hands, good. Sorry, what did I say?
Good hands, poor pass, maybe. Was that what you were looking for?
Well, that's an England international centre.
Yep.
Hero last week with the drop goal, first of his career that beat the Saints.
You're only as good as your last game, Eddie. Always remember that.
He'll be better. Leroy Cudjoe will be better. I'm pretty confident that all will be better. I'm not sure they can be this bad again, but it's still a mountain to climb.
You're right.
And whoever
right,
faces
Brown.
it.
But what you're saying is that they can't get any worse than this. Seriously, this is a very poor performance at this stage in the playoffs.
Paul Anderson will hope they'll respond next week.
They'll get Danny Brough back and they'll all respond.
We're not saying surely one man makes a team.
No, but they've underperformed tonight, and his presence can make a difference. We all know that, don't we? Whether he's passes, kicks, runs with the ball, I think even being on the field will make a difference. He's at times, even though he's perhaps the smallest player, he can be the most aggressive, and they lack some of that early in this match.
Talking of aggression, here is John Bateman, he tried to get the kick in, but I think he scuffed the kick completely. Actually, he might have done himself a bit of damage here, Bateman. He's holding on to his thigh.
This wouldn't surprise you because it wasn't the best attempt, was it? It rather surprised me that he had plenty of ground in front of him. He didn't sort of get into top gear. Either way, they've got the penalty, messing around.
I've noticed Huddersfield have become a little frustrated with the wrestling and the pulling, the pushing, particularly on the ground.
Well, there was
from minute 1, and here we are now in the 70th minute, and they get the penalty for it.
Yeah, well, there was a hand on Aaron Murphy's face. It's simple as that. It's a penalty.
10 minutes to go in this opening match of the 2014 First Utility Super League Playoff Series.
And you know, the Wigan coach, Sean Wayne, he will probably be upset by the fact that on the scoreboard there's a 4 for Huddersfield. He would have loved to have nilled them. That is for sure, and that looks slightly forward.
Here's a chance to see what they can do in attack here. They're doing it fast enough, though. There's enough precision, and the players having to catch the ball, not at full pace. And I think you'd have to say yes to all of those. It was done at training pace. The late challenge perhaps here on Luke.
Yeah, Ben Flowers hit Luke Robinson, and Luke stayed on the ground. He's on the knee now. The physio is coming to his attention. But I'm pretty sure it was Ben Flower that hit him late, left him on the ground.
He's had a report, I think, about his shoulder charge. Yes, that's the sign. I'm going to see it again here.
I'm not sure it's a shoulder charge. It's certainly late, and it's a push, and it's not needed. Certainly not with the score at this level.
You're spot on there, Stuart. And I'm sure Sean Wayne will get the message and say, come on, fellas, let's not be stupid. The last thing we want is for one guy to go to the disciplinary committee. They've got the game in the bag, and just use common sense.
It's Michael Lawrence.
I think Luke Robinson's just been hit again slightly late.
Jake Connor. He's up there though, Luke, and he's barking instructions, pointing around. He's got his hands on the ball again. Kick off the outside of the boot. Well claimed. Burgess, he's away. It's a foot race now. Griggs is trying to cut him off of the pass. He's not going to do that. And Burgess is going all the way home for a 100-metre try. Outstanding pace. Candidate for Young Player of the Year, surely. Joe Burgess. Bloodied, bandaged, but unbowed, and a 100-metre try for Joe Burgess.
Well, that's absolutely snuffed out any chance of a comeback now. I think the clock's going to beat the Huddersfield Giants. They'll be hoping he doesn't kick this, though.
I might agree with you on that one, Brian. But what a great young talent this fellow is. He leaped up, took the wonderful take, and soon got into top gear.
Well, you know what? The old great Wigan wingers like Billy Boston and Brian Carney would have been happy with that. That was a quality, wasn't it?
But he got it right with the old.
I'd have dropped this.
I'm not too sure about the great, but anyway.
Look at the speed that he gets here. They came across, they had the numbers, but I'm afraid nothing was going to stop this guy.
He's got some pace, hasn't he?
It wasn't a bad kick either from Luke Robinson. But what about the take? Gets away, Cudjoe couldn't get anywhere near him. Look at that determination. Look at the style, good balance.
You'd think it was 4-all, wouldn't you? Tremendous. Tremendous try from Joe Burgess.
Well, he's done it.
And there is one of the greats.
He is absolutely the great Billy Boston. He'd enjoy nothing more than seeing somebody like Joe Burgess scorch up the sideline. Little mention to Brett Ferris as well. He's cut down the angle and made sure that Burgess couldn't go onto the post. And you're so well beaten, it's efforts like that they'll be needed next week if they're to progress in these playoffs.
Another miss from Matty Smith.
Ironic booing from his own supporters. He's missed the last two, and a wry smile on his face, but what a game this guy has had. Great take. Determination. You could see the cover defence coming away. And like all the best wingers in rugby league, you have the confidence to say, I've got the legs to beat them. And he did. That's a TRY he will remember for a long, long time. Because it was a long, long way.
Well, if it was a boxing match, it'd be stopped now for cruelty.
For safety. For safety. Yeah. The Giants haven't been competitive. They weren't in the first half. I said after 10-15 minutes they were on a life support machine then. And it just got worse, didn't it? Wigan killed them early on. But you have to ride an emotional roller coaster if you want to be a professional sportsman or sportswoman. Last week, Huddersfield, 17-16 win. All smiles in the dressing room at the end of the game as the ball just goes to Floyer, wide to Bateman. They must have been high and happy last week. Rock bottom this week. They have another week then to recover. You have to be able to take the ups and the downs if you choose to be a sportsman for a career, and the Huddersfield Giants have done that. They've now got a week here to redeem themselves and rekindle any hopes of finishing 2014 at the Theatre of Dreams.
Oh, there you go. Matthew Smith just turning them round. Knows there's less than 5 minutes to go. Knows he's got a nice week off. Although I bet that Sean Wayne will have them in for training on most of the days between now and the next match. They'll have a couple of days break. They deserve it.
Yeah, they do. And wonderful kick yet again. Nice to know that he can control the game. And what a farewell it would be if Blake Green could trot out or walk out, as we should say, onto the Old Trafford turf. On this performance, you wouldn't bet against it, would you?
Well, it's been a remarkable season, really, for Wigan, the players and their coaching staff. When you think to the players who went through the exit door last year, so many changes. They have been exceptional, though, certainly at home. They've only lost 2. Huddersfield, remarkably, on the first game of the year in February, and to the old enemy, the Saints, in June. But he has rebuilt and could easily be heading back to Old Trafford.
Here we go, guys. Well, is there any more points ready for the scoreboard? Wouldn't surprise me if Blake Green goes on the blind side. Keep your eye out, and Sean O'Loughlin. And they have.
And there's Bowen. It was standing up there for him, wasn't it, the ball? And the line was into view. And he was probably in his own mind putting the ball down over that line. And he just didn't quite pouch it safely enough.
Yeah, they were caught there on that short blind side, weren't they? And I was pretty confident he would have scored if he would have taken that pass. Well, the Giants, they just want the Hooter to go as quickly as possible, but there's still a fair amount of time.
Well, somebody should call the RSPCG, the Royal Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Giants, after this. Cruelty? 2.5 minutes to go. It's been cruel what they've done to them tonight. It really has. He's still smiling, though, the Giant.
Well, he can't help it,
It's a bit like yours, Steve-O. It's a fixed Gioconda.
Permanent. And not surprising, nobody is rushing to form this scrum. It's been disappointing for those loyal fans who have come over from Huddersfield.
Well, it's been disappointing for the playoffs as well. I mean, 56-4, teams finishing, you know, second and third in the table. You'd expect a bit better than this.
If Warrington had won last week here, which they very nearly did against Wigan, potentially would this game have been played over at Huddersfield then? Wigan 2 points less on the table. You know, that game and that win over Warrington last week here did make such a difference with the table being so tight, although I don't think home advantage has been the significant factor in this scoreline. One team has just been far better on the night than the other.
Well, Michael McAlorum, Joel Tompkins. Is it me, or have we not seen too much of Michael McAlorum? We saw him for about, what, 40 minutes or so, first half. He was quite dominant, and Powell's come on.
Yeah, and Powell's done a good job.
From Matty Smith. That's taking the mickey. That is taking the mick. And Matty Smith, well, he'll take any points that are on offer.
Why not? No one anticipated. The Giants stood still. He takes a pot shot. No pressure whatsoever. And the crowd raise as one to this fella.
Well, they know that they'll be back here in a fortnight. 57 points to 4. Wigan. It's not over yet. Nearly. And Crosby running strongly at the end, just as he was at the beginning.
And getting back to that Michael McIlaurin situation, it's a good move by Sean Wayne to give the likes of Sam Powell plenty of time out on the field of play.
It's all over. The Giants' agony has finished. Blake Green, Matty Bowen, they've all played well. The one thing you can say about Wigan is that they have pace from 1 to 13, and then with the 4 subs on the bench as well, there's good power, good pace. They put the opposition under pressure. And Luke Robinson and company have a lot of work to do over the next 7 days, and they will hope they'll come back stronger for the next phase of the playoffs.
Well, the former Great Britain coach Brian Noble used to say in a situation like this that Humpty Dumpty had fallen off the wall and he had to rebuild it. Paul Anderson has to do exactly that here now over the course of next week. Not impossible, it is improbable, but the Giants will find out just exactly how strong their character is over the next 6.5 days.
Yeah, I think Paul Anderson might need a little bit more than all the King's horses and all the King's men to put this lot back together again. But we shall see. We shall see when they come out fighting in the second phase of the playoffs. It'll be very interesting to hear Paul's view, to hear Sean's view, and also to hear this fellow's view. Matty Smith, points galore for him tonight. He's the man of the match as well. He's with Bill.
Points galore for Matty, points galore for Wigan. I don't think many people anticipated that in the opening round of the playoffs.
No, we certainly didn't. You know, but I thought the boys were fantastic tonight. Our middle stood up again, and against a big pack, big physical pack as well. So, you know, well done to them. But yeah, great performance tonight. And you know, we get the week off now, and you know, Huddersfield got to play next week, but I'm sure they'll come again.
I think the point was made that, you know, you've had good first halves and then maybe faded in the second. You've had bad first halves and picked it up in the second. Maybe tonight you almost got an entire 80.
Yeah, the last 2 weeks we've, you know, against Leeds it was good first half, bad second half, and then against Warrington we were bad first half, good second half. So it was about putting an 80-minute performance in tonight, and I thought we did that. Like I said, our middle stood up again, and you know, it allows the backs for play like we did.
I don't suppose, though, you'd be under any illusions that, you know, what's to come in the playoffs.
Oh yeah, we know how tough this league is. You know, there's a lot of teams that can go on and win it, but we're ready. You know, we're hitting, you know, good form at the minute, and yeah, we're 80 minutes away now from the grand final. So you know, we'll get the rest and we'll enjoy that, but you know, we'll be ready to go when we have to.
Well done, Matty. Thanks for talking to us, and thanks also to Brett Ferris for talking to us, the Giants captain, and a painful way to start the playoffs. At least you get another chance to put it right.
Yeah, silver lining with that, but obviously not good enough tonight. From the minute go, we were second best all the way through the game, and very disappointing in a big game like this to build like that and dish that up is not good enough.
It looked as though you'd weathered the storm. I mean, Wigan came at you all guns blazing. You managed to weather that, and then you did put a bit of pressure on them, and that was about as good as it got.
Yeah, I think the first 15-20 minutes we went set for set a little bit with them, but it took us all in later in the half where we just didn't complete any sets, didn't really give ourselves an opportunity, and against a good side like Wigan, you can't give them that much ball and respect.
Well, like you said, I mean, you know, you're back in training. You're going to be determined to get it right next time.
That's it. Yeah. Luckily, we get another bite of the cherry, and let's regroup now and see how we are in the morning and crack on for next week. It's a big week.
Brett, thanks for talking to us. Joel Tompkins, first try back in Super League. How did that feel? Looked as though you weren't going to make it at one point.
I know. I didn't think I was going to. It's a relief not to have to do the naked run on the end season do now.
Is it actually to get that, apart from the naked run, is it a relief just to get that monkey off your back?
Yeah, I mean, it's really nice to score tries and stuff, but I think the performance was the thing tonight, especially in front of our home crowd. We've had 3 big performances now against Leeds, Warrington, and now a very good Huddersfield team. So hopefully we can carry that form on into the rest of the playoffs.
And just put it on for Sam's benefit as well tonight, that he's back.
Yeah, Sam's back tonight, so, you know, it's nice to have him back for the next few weeks.
Is this what you came back for? You know, to be here on a night like this, to be in the playoffs with Wigan?
Exactly. I mean, I had a great time for a couple of years in rugby union. I really enjoyed my time and made some really good friends down at Saracens. But, you know, I think this is where I belong. I love rugby league, and, you know, this atmosphere tonight and these last few weeks have made it special.
And the prospects of getting to Old Trafford.
That's what it's all about, you know, that's what everybody's aiming for. I think we've put ourselves in a good position now. So, you know, whoever we play in the semi-final, we'll be confident. Hopefully we can make it to Old Trafford.
Thanks, Joel.
Well done.
Sean O'Loughlin, the Warriors captain, joins us. Also on the score sheet, very nearly not.
Nice to get one, yeah, it was close, but Greeny I think he just saw his corner of his eye and got it out.
And like Matty said, I mean, tonight, OK, the Giants will be disappointed with what they put up, but for you, it was about 80 minutes.
Yeah, we wanted this game. We wanted to get the week off next week. We've had 3 big games last few weeks, so to get the week off is big for us. And yeah, we want to come in and do a good job, and we've done that. We weren't expecting a scoreline like this. I'm sure we've seen a lot better from Huddersfield this year than they dished up tonight, but it's still nice to get the result.
And you'll know they'll be tougher maybe to come in what's ahead.
Yeah, there's a chance we could play them again at some point, and we know they'll be a lot better than that. So we'll take this win, we'll take the good scoreline, but we know we'll have to work a lot harder than we have done today.
Take the break as well. Thanks, Sean.
Yeah, cheers, thank you.
Oh, that's if they get a break. That's down to this man. Are you going to give him a bit of a breather?
Yeah, for a few days. Yeah, I thought they responded. I put them under pressure the last few weeks, and they've done what I've asked them to do. So they're a good group of players. You know, they're my mates, but they work hard. But I do ask a lot of them, Bill, and I've been really impressed what they turned up with today.
Will you be annoyed about the fact that they actually managed to concede tonight?
No, I mean, the thing went our way today. We got the bounce of the ball and passes went our way. Huddersfield are a good team. Paul Anderson's a good coach, a really good coach. And but things went our way as well. You know, we played well. Our attack was very, very crisp, but you know we did have the bounce of the ball as well.
And a home game to come, and the prospect of Old Trafford not that far away now. It's exciting. It's building.
I mean, we had things our own way today, and I'm sure it's not going to be that way for 2 games now. But if we complete the way we did with our attack as crisp as it was, you know, we'll really challenge teams. But you know, I know it's not going to be that way for the next 2 games.
Thanks, Sean.
Cheers, Bill. Thank you very much.
Yes, job very well done tonight for the Wigan Warriors and coach Sean Wayne. It was a cakewalk in the end. 57 points to 4, 10 tries, 9 different try scorers. For Huddersfield, just the Leroy Cudjoe 4-pointer to show for that. Chairman and coach delighted with the evening's work. And if you look down the list, well, there was Burgess, O'Loughlin, Charnley, Bowen, Sargentson, Joel Tompkins, Farrell, Clubb, Charnley. They all got on the try-scoring lists. It will get tougher, they know that, but Wigan into the next phase.
Looks like a job for the old magic sponge.
Do you not want to?
I said no, you're deaf!
All the mums and dads really want to hear you.
I'm not worth it. Well, I think you are worth it. And I want to hear how you really feel.
He abuses me.
Together, we're going to find a way to make this stop.
On Blu-ray and DVD, witness the greatest disaster in history.
Shields up!
Pompeii. Buy it now.
What a waste. I always get my 5 a day.
Pepperami. It's a bit of an animal.
I do favors for people. In return, they give me gifts.
I want you to find the man who kidnapped my wife.
I understand we have a new player in the game.
Liam Neeson. You dealt with situations like this?
Not like this.
A Walk Among the Tombstones in cinemas September 19.
Smart finds property whilst on the move. Over 1 million homes jostle to be his castle. Smart has all the stats at his fingertips. And locals whisper in his ear. Smart is alerted to new properties the second they appear. For knowledge is in his hands. Find the perfect home to buy or rent with the free Zoopla app. Zoopla, smarter property search.
To add an Italian twist to your pasta napoletana, try new Knorr mixed herbs flavour pots. The new range of flavour pots from Knorr.
Five doors. Mirror screen. Sunroof. Reversing camera. Love your city, love your C1. All new Citroën C1, naturally urban.
Citroën, créative technologie.
You're right there, in the moment, weighing it all up. Every little detail, checking and double-checking, evaluating and re-evaluating. Waiting for just one opportunity. Wait for it, here it comes. Did you get it? This is the Ladbrokes Life.
Whatever you do, do not make a sound.
Sorry. They're nutty.
Nutty?
Nutty.
Kellogg's Crunchy Nut, tasty nutty flakes ruled by golden honey.
Nutty!
There's Crunchy Nut clusters too.
Welcome to Hotels.com. Let's find you a room. Yep. As the hotel experts, finding you the perfect place is all we do. Hotels.com. Wake up happy.
Don't lift, don't bend. Is there anything I am allowed to do?
Yes, go through there and stick your feet up.
Know where I'd like to stick them.
Ah, come on, Dan. No hug for your favourite little brother.
I promise you, zero attraction.